Greetings and thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you so much. And today we are going to talk about the number one tip or the key to finding more time in your day. My name is Dr. Jeanette DeWitt. I am a doctor of physical therapy and a medical fitness expert. I also get lots of questions about how am I going to fit exercise in? How am I going to eat healthy and do all this meal prep when I have no time in my schedule? Time is the number one thing that I hear from people that I'm working with is I don't have time. And I'm going to tell you that the number one way to find more time in your schedule is to actually plan your schedule. Now, it doesn't sound like it's rocket science here, but that is the truth. You have to plan ahead. It's with anything that we do. If it's important to us, we're going to prioritize that time and we are going to plan it out. If you have a major event coming up, you don't just wing it. You plan out what you're going to do leading up to that major event, whether it's a big birthday party, whether it's an office retirement, whether it is a graduation, a wedding. You plan those things out because those are important to you. If it's important to you, it'll be on your calendar. So plan it out. Let me show you what this would look like. I'm a huge fan of the digital calendar, and it's because a lot of the things that we do each day are the same things. We have a routine, we have a schedule, even if it's not currently written down. So the reason I like the digital calendar is because I don't want to write out the same thing every single day. What I mean by that is most of us tend to get up at the same time every morning. Guess what? Our sleep schedule is the same, so I don't want to write out that I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock and get up at 4:30. I don't want to write that out every day, but I can block it in my digital calendar and it's in there. It's a recurring appointment with myself to make sure that I go to bed and get up the same time every day. Now, the next thing is, most of the time our work schedule is the same. For me, I like to be at work 9 to 5. So during 9 to 5, that schedule is blocked. Guess what? I have to drive right now 25 to 30 minutes to my office. I have to account for that. So on my schedule at 8:30 a.m., it actually says travel to work. I can't take appointments then. I can't go to the grocery store during that time. I can't help my kids with their homeschooling during that time. It is a blocked schedule on my calendar. The same is true at the end of my day. I have to account for the travel time. And so a lot of times where we get into trouble with our schedule is lack of planning and we forget to put travel time in. This is how I encourage you to set up your schedule. Is you put all the things that happen and have to happen in your schedule first. That's going to be your sleep. That's going to be your work schedule. That may be a school schedule of getting your kids to school. You have to put that all in your schedule and then give yourself buffer time to account for traffic so you don't feel like you're all stressed out. We don't always do that either. We kind of, Google Maps says that it takes 21 minutes to get there. All right, but if you hit every red light on the way, or there's an accident, or there's just traffic, we might need to say, you know what, I'm going to make that 25 minutes, or I'm going to just go ahead and make that 30 minutes, and I have 9 minutes of buffer time. It makes me either be on time, or at least it gives me a sense of, you know what, if I hit every red light, I'm not like just sitting there anxious and raring to go and just waiting for that light to turn. We all have the same amount of time in our day. It's what we do with that time. And by planning it out, we can actually capture more time in our day. So go ahead and put your meals in there. Go ahead and put your work schedule, your kids' schedule, your travel time, your carpool time. Then you're going to be left with blocks of time where there's nothing happening. And in that time, we want to use that wisely. So here's how you can gain more time too. Is in those chunks of time, we want to put in exercise. Because exercise actually will give you more time, because exercise releases natural chemical mediators that helps to bring pain down. It also is going to calm anxiety. It's a natural high that you can get. It brings clarity, it brings focus, it increases your concentration. So instead of going through and being lethargic, you're going to have a lot more energy and be able to tackle those projects and decisions that come your way in a quicker amount of time. And when you spend less time focused on how tired you are, and you spend more time making decisions instead of ruminating on decisions, you will actually be able to accomplish more in your day. The same can go for food prep. It doesn't have to be this all-day food prep that I see other people doing. I don't have time for that. I don't know a lot of people who have time for that. But it could be that I am, while I'm making dinner and while I'm cleaning up dinner, I might be setting aside portions for my lunch the next day. The food is already out. I just have to put it in containers, put it in the refrigerator. That's what I do. I meal prep as I'm actually making a meal, because I know that I'm going to have leftovers the next day. So that's how you can do some meal prepping. If you're chopping up a bunch of vegetables, you're maybe taking some frozen fruit and putting it in a container to take the next day. That doesn't take a lot of time. And I would actually argue that does it take less time to meal prep in the way I just described, or more time to sit in a fast food drive-through for 10, 15 minutes doing nothing? Yes, I put crickets there in that pause there on purpose. It can take less time in your day to actually plan for snacks than it does to sit in line at a fast food restaurant, take out, whatever it might be. So think of it in those terms, and that is going to help you kind of capture some of the time that you think that you're losing. The other thing about eating healthy food is it also doesn't spike your sugars as much as unhealthier options. So if we are planning ahead and we're eating a very well-balanced diet, we're going to have more clarity, we're going to have more concentration, we're going to have more energy, because our blood glucose, our sugar levels are not spiking and then dipping and spiking and dipping, and that constant roller coaster through the day where we feel really up and then we feel really down, like, oh, I could take a nap right now. That is going to cause us to lose time, because just our body hormone and metabolism is throwing us off. So I want you to know that you can regain your time, you can get some me time back by doing things proactively that help to increase your concentration, that help to give you clarity, that help to improve your energy throughout the day. You will feel much different. And I will challenge you to say that if this doesn't work in a day or two, you haven't tried it long enough. Even if you try this for 7 to 10 days, you might still feel out of sorts. It's going to take a good 21 to 30 days to start to get into a new rhythm. And I would even say that most of the people I work with, it can take like 3 months to actually start to readjust. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's such a long time. Is it really? Is it really a long time? Because it's taken you maybe years to get into the rhythm that you're used to. You're going to be making changes, and that's going to be uncomfortable. And that uncomfortable sensation makes us want to resort to what is familiar to us. But the familiar isn't working for you. So be comfortable with being a little bit uncomfortable, and don't try and do everything at once. Maybe you do this a little bit throughout the week. For example, I'm not going to hit the snooze button. When I hit the snooze button, I hit it 2 or 3 times. That already puts me 20 minutes behind. If you're constantly hitting the snooze button and you lose 20 minutes at the beginning of every day, you're already behind on your schedule. You've already lost 20 minutes of time. The other thing is check your digital use, your social media use. Are you running out of time for the things that you really want to do because, I'm just going to check that text, or I'm just going to check those posts, or I'm just going to comment on here, and the next thing you know, 15 minutes have gone by because you've just done all this stuff on social media, and now you don't have time to do your food prep, or now you just missed out on the ability to click play on that exercise program or drive to the gym. And you're looking at the time and you're like, oh, I was going to drive to the gym, but I can't drive to the gym right now because I just spent 15 minutes on social media. Block the time that you plan to check social media. Block the time that you are going to respond to texts. That one, sometimes we have emergency things happen and our schedules aren't always perfect. But what I'm encouraging you to do is, at lunchtime, let's just say you get an hour for lunch, go for a 15-minute walk, come back and eat in 20 minutes, and now you've got 20 more minutes that you can check social media, catch up on texts, things like that. So it's all about planning. That is the #1 strategy that I can tell you. It has worked for my patients when I was practicing traditional physical therapy. It's working for the clients that I work with now for medical fitness and for weight loss. And it's all about just capturing in your day what is really important to you. Because if it's really important, you're going to put it on the schedule. I hope this helps. If you like this post, go ahead and say you like it. Click that button and say you like it. Comment in the feed before. Tell me that it's helpful. And share this out with people. We are in a stressed out society right now. Everybody's like rushing everywhere. And everybody's trying to find the magic solution to recapturing their time. And it's really just taking a few minutes and thinking out your day. And honestly, sometimes our days get derailed. And that's when we have to just look in the mirror and give ourselves some grace and say, you know what? It's not perfect. I'm a work in progress, and that's okay too. Sometimes we have to push ourselves a little bit and be comfortable with being uncomfortable and making a change, because sometimes what we're familiar with isn't really working for us. So go ahead and, like I said, share this out. If you know somebody, tag them on it. Make a comment for me and let me know that this is helpful. I really encourage you to take control of your schedule by planning it out and blocking that digital calendar. If you prefer to write it out, go ahead and do that. The digital calendar is nice because you don't have to waste time writing the same thing over and over and over again. I hope that you find this valuable. Enjoy and have a blessed day.